All right, welcome back to the channel. So Adrien Broner returns to the ring, and there is going to be a celebration in this house because I'm a huge Adrien Broner fan, and at the weigh-in, he moves the weight up to 147, looks very good in the weigh-in, and he's fighting 12-round fights. But the most important thing is that this man, if he's successful in this comeback, will be the biggest star in boxing, I promise you. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about Adrien the Problem Broner. Adrien the Problem Broner is definitely one of the most well-known fighters in the world. If you ask anybody who follows the sport of boxing, they know who Adrien Broner is. And there's not a lot of people that you can say that about. Adrien Broner has been a ticket seller. He has been a guy that brings a lot of really good ratings. He's somebody that is charismatic. He's definitely entertaining, although through times in his life, the entertainment has been more people laughing at him than with him. But this new version, not even new version, because it's not a new version of him. It's just him becoming a man. And when I listened to his interview yesterday, that's the thing that was really impressed me. It was his demeanor. Now, let's go through it a little bit, just a little bit of background. Adrien Broner has been out of the ring since the Manny Pacquiao fight. Now, a lot of people in that fight, really kind of clowned him for what he said after the fight, which was, come on, man, I beat that guy. The guy wasn't hitting me, right? I haven't looked at that fight again, but I will tell you for sure that Adrien Broner gave Manny Pacquiao a better fight than Keith Thurman did. If you look at the career of Adrien Broner, you'll see that this guy is always fighting top quality opposition. And even if he does not come out with the win, he is competing to the fullest. He is giving you a very, very entertaining fight. And he is getting his pound of flesh out of anybody and everybody he's fighting. As a talent early in his career, he was one of the absolute best. Now, just to prove this, there's a guy, and we all know who he is, Mr. Terrence Bud Crawford, who was a 3-division champion. He won belts at 135. He won 30. He won belts at 130. He won belts at 135. And now he's won a belt at 147. And he actually had 4 belts at 147, at 140. So you know what kind of guy Terrence Crawford is. So when I tell you that earlier in their career, right, and they're both around the same age, early 30s, I think Adrien might be 30, maybe Terrence Crawford's 33. I'm not sure, but right around that age, between the 30 and 33 age range, that's where they are. And they both came into the pros at the same time. Now, but Adrien was considered the class of 135 pounds when Terrence Crawford was there. Go back and listen to how they did the original fights, the early fights for Terrence Crawford, specifically when he won his belt against Ricky Burns. The commentary tells you, look, this is a really, really good fighter, Terrence Crawford. We really think that he's like this special talent out of the U.S. He's better than everybody except the guy that is really running the 135-pound division, which is Adrien Broner. Unfortunately for Adrien Broner got in the way of Adrien Broner, and, he blew up in weight. Just went up 3 weight classes. No way. What is that? 140, 147. Well, 135, 140, and 147. So he spanned 3 weight classes, right? And he didn't do it the right way. He just jumped, boom, from 130. I think he might even have jumped straight from 135 to 147. And then he ran into Marcus Madonna, right? Marcus Madonna, who, dude, for real, after what happened to Floyd Mayweather Jr., and you saw the fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Marcus Madonna, Marcus Madonna is a difficult fighter to beat. And them gloves might have been a little thin. But even in that fight with Marcus Madonna, if you looked at what Adrien Broner did in the second half of the fight, dude, He handled his business in the second half of the fight. He was just too far behind and had already gotten knocked down. So that is why I'm trying to set that up to tell you, dude, that while we think about Adrien Broner as being somebody that is a bit of a comedian, right? I won't say clown because I don't think he's a clown. I take that man very, very seriously. I think he's a good dude, but you know the reputation, right? However, understand that there was a time when he was going to be the big star, not Canelo Alvarez. He was going to be the big star, a bigger star, and had a bigger jump than Errol Spence did, or pretty much anybody else here. He was supposed to be the guy that was going to take over for Floyd Mayweather Jr. And going on to what's happening this weekend, it is my deepest, deepest desire as far as boxing goes for this man to be successful, because he's doing the right things, man. He's saying the right things. He's admitting to what he was doing wrong, and I believe that. I believe that he was drinking and he was partying, and because, dude, I've done that before. There's a lot of stress that comes with being in the position that Adrien Broner is. He was a young age, but what did he do? He did what young men that get themselves in trouble need to do. He kept doing him, grinding, pushing forward day to day, dealing with his depression, dealing with other issues that he may have, but yet and still always giving it his all when he got in that ring. And that's what I like about Adrien Broner. So when I see that he is at 147, I like that. I like that he's in 147 because that means he didn't drain himself down too far, too quickly. He prioritized his strength. He prioritized his endurance and the health of his body over just dropping down to 140 for whatever reason. But yet and still, he seems to be preparing himself for a championship run by taking a 12-round fight. That's a 1 and a 2. I wish I could do 1, 2, right? But 12. So I say 12 like this. I hope the camera's not backwards because then it should be like this. It's either this or it's this. Whatever the case is, you get my point. I am a big fan. I'm a big, big, big fan of Adrien Broner, bro. And going 12 rounds right back after being out for a solid year and having fought somebody of the caliber of Manny Pacquiao. And I like that, man. I like that he's jumping right back in. I also like some of the things that he said about what he's willing to do, right? He's like, look, man, I'm a fighter. I know where I am. I know that I have, I'm not where I should be. And I'm willing to die in that ring to prove it and to get myself where I need to get. And I believe that Adrien Broner can do that. I do. As many bum dudes as there are running around here with championship belts, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically, Adrien Broner can get one, okay? He can get one. There are guys like at 154, Saddam Ali, that Saddam Ali held a belt. At one, yeah, didn't he? Yeah. He held one, I think the WBO at 154. Right? You got guys, no disrespect to the UK, like Josh Warrington, who's a straight club fighter, but yet was ranked so highly by Ring that I'm like, what are you doing? However, hey, man, they want to sell him, so he has a belt, he has the title or whatever that they have. It is what it is. But Adrien Broner looked good, very, very good in the weigh-in. His mentality seemed very, very, very solid. And I believe that if he is successful in this fight, and then maybe one more step-up fight, right, that his comeback story can be so appealing that it would be in a major movie, because the guy is he's comedic gold. The guy's got a great personality, right? Things that you can't train into fighters that make people stars. If you look at like Muhammad Ali, for example, right? And what they say about the gift of gab and, being able to crack jokes on people and really entertain people in the press conferences. Who does that better than Adrien Broner? Nobody. Adrien Broner ain't fought in a year. I guarantee you this dude is going to have good ratings. If he doesn't have good ratings, that's on Steven Espinoza, not on Adrien Broner, because that would have been them not giving that man, the budget to promote and put that fight out there. Because if Adrien Broner's fighting, man, you need to be watching, man. It's going to be absolutely fun. Now, I know that there's a possibility that he won't succeed, right? It's a possibility, right? He could lose this fight. I don't think he's going to lose this fight. I think he's going to win by knockout. But there, he could stumble again, but it doesn't matter, man, because he's going to be successful because he worked hard. One of the lines that I really like in some of those Nipsey Hussle songs, because I've been really listening to him a lot, trying to get to understand the mind of, people a little bit younger than me, get familiar with their terminology, so that when they're talking to me, I kind of come I understand where they're coming from. And Adrien Broner, dude, so many of those lines remind me of this guy, man. So many. Like, real dudes go up and down, you know what I mean? But haters will stay down forever. Adrien Broner's a real dude. And Adrien Broner's going to have his ups, he's going to have his downs. He's going to have his ups, he's going to have his downs. And when he retires, he's going to have his ups and he's going to have his downs, but he is going to always be within reach of his dreams because that guy has the vision, he has the belief in himself. All he needs is the discipline and the chance to develop him for a little while at this stage of his career with fights that are not just ridiculously difficult for him, right? Putting him in there with Sean Porter, putting him in there with Marcus Madonna, robbing him of a Jesse Vargas win because they said that stuff was a get out of here. He won that fight. But anyway, I digress. I support Adrien Broner beyond the fullest, man. I certainly hope that he and About Billions reach their dreams of getting that $1 billion because it's maybe not be probable, but it is definitely possible that this man can achieve his dreams and in a one fell swoop pay off the $800,000 that he owes related to that court case. Because so what, man? If Adrien Broner is really on his game, man, $800,000 ain't nothing, man. He should be able to pull that out of his pocket and slap the judge with it. Pop! There's your $800,000. Can I leave now? Thank you, Your Honor. I'm out. He don't need rich friends when he's rich. He just needs the fights. He just needs the promotion. And then he just needs his own internal dedication, right? His own internal dedication to himself to be the best that he can be on a minute-by-minute basis. And my brother Adrien Broner will 100%, no more than that, 102% be on point. At least that is my deepest wish for the man. That's my thoughts on the situation. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.